But yeah, we can. I think this episode's gonna be relatively slim, but I think we can go ahead and get into the exciting bit of the match reviews. So this week we had some pretty good matches, and to start it out, we're going to have the Week 6A Witness Gaming versus Froyo. This first match kind of went as expected. Witness Gaming couldn't really handle Froyo, so Froyo 4-0'd them on product, I believe. Yes. And have you watched this, or do you have any opinions of what happened?
Yeah, cast this. I think the main reason Witness was so good, where they beat up Wonderwall, they beat Global Clan, I think, on this map earlier, is probably mainly because they just have a sniper threat. Now Froyo plays, they don't really let you get set up, especially if you're on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Defense, they don't let you just get on cliff, get your sniper some good shots. They're just instantly in your face. And you can see, especially by the KD, Yoshi went 8-26. Didn't really have success on sniper, went 6-16, and I think he had a 3K at the end of the game, so it should have been even worse. But yeah, it just really shows Banny, Habib, everyone almost breaking 400 DPM. Blaze just he had it in the first half, second half not quite, but that just shows how insanely dominant they were. I think Virgil was probably the only person besides Sin Karma that really had a good game and a good showing, even in a blowout like this, where Virgil really didn't get caught. And Sin Karma always gets his damage. I don't know. I don't think I've really seen a match where he hasn't done like the top couple people in damage at least.
Yeah, he tends to pretty hold up by himself pretty well. Looking at the medics, of course, I think Virgil did pretty well. I think I've seen a trend through the season. Virgil, Aizen, they both are kind of improving throughout the season. Skis dropping 2 Ubers, but yeah, double the frags on the side of Furyo Tech, and 4 rounds in 18 minutes. It's kind of a roll, but yeah, there's not too much to say about it. Witness Gaming just purely got outclassed on every aspect of that.
Yeah, but you can't take it too hard if you're Witness. I think it's a pretty assumed thing. They did the best thing they could. They took it to a map they looked great on. They tried the sniper, which has been their bread and butter on that map with Rio on Scout. Didn't work out, and not much else you can say. They tried their best. They pulled out all the stops, which wasn't very successful. And getting into, I think most people would say, the most exciting matches of the season this far, at least. It was Froyo versus Corsia. Personally, I wanted to believe, but I don't know. I really couldn't, and I got proved absolutely wrong. In the first game, after the first half, I'm like, oh no, they got 3-0'd. It just wasn't looking good at all. Just immediately down 3-0. And what happens second half? They go down, was it 4-2, I think. And then they bring it back in a small amount of time to bring it to the golden cap. But I said, I remember before, they're just going to wait. Trip's either going to go into their kitchen or go behind them or come into them. And they just waited. Trip jumps into kitchen, got picked, mid-over, and then they got sent to their last. And it's just too hard, really, against a team that good to fight back in the golden cap from your own last. And if you do, it's crazy, but it just didn't quite work out for them, in this map at least.
Yeah, but I think the entire game went pretty well. I would honestly not be surprised if the golden cap was just reversed and Corsi would take it, because it seemed relatively, like they didn't really cap any points out, and Froyo just kind of rolled to their last. But other rounds, Corsia, they did the same thing. They got a 1-minute 45-second time, and it kind of went back and forth in that aspect, but I think Corsi was very lucky that they could tie it up and bring it to a golden cap. There was only like 45 seconds left. And thankfully, well, unfortunately, they didn't win the golden cap. But this leads into the next match. So they did a double header that night. The first map was Snakewater, and then on the second one, it was Villa. And while it was very close on Villa, it had a different outcome. Corsia actually did the upset and beat Froyo Tech 5-4, And I think it's been quite a while since Tech has actually dropped a map, hasn't it?
I think it's been 2 seasons. It was,
Only
I think,
two?
season 2 with 100B. They took a map on process.
Uh,
And then I think that's the last time. And then the time before that, I think it was Ascent in season 30 on Granary.
hmm,
But those were the last times that they dropped a map. Given it's in the regular season, nothing in the playoffs since season 25, 4 or 5, one of those. So it's been a long time.
yeah, I don't think I was even born back then, but I think this season is gonna be definitely one to watch during the playoffs because these matches were actually the very first time we saw Corsia go up against Tech. And coming into this, I was very skeptical because honestly, we haven't seen that much out of Corsia except versus Morning Light. That's like the only thing we can really judge off of. And with Ash being banned for the past month, we haven't really seen them play many matches, and I had no idea what to expect. But coming into even both of the games, it's not just Villa with it being a weird map. Even Snakewater, they definitely impressed me, considering everything that's been going on, and they, I mean, they took a map off of Furry Tech. That's pretty much says everything for itself.
Yeah, I think the main thing is, at least in map 1, I think the story for Corsia was Trip. Trip had a really good second half. His mids were probably the main reason they got back in. I think Alex also had a good performance, but Habib, like, looking at it, he dropped 49, Eric dropped 48, and really that's pretty insane. But second map, Corsia honestly just looked like a better team overall.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like I remember with Ascent in season 30 and Freya Black in season 29, I think. It was really just, they just had individuals really pop off, and it was just, they had better players in that game, and they just really looked better as individuals. But this time around, there were definitely players who played well, but it was mainly just Corsia looked better as a team. They had less damage in this final map. They had one
Mm-hmm.
more kill, and the main thing, and they lost most mids, which is really hard, and they still looked dominant throughout the game. I think they were up 4-2, and they lost 2 rounds pretty quickly, which brought it back to 4-4. But overall, I think if you watch that whole game and you didn't see the score or something, you definitely think Corsia would be winning pretty dominantly. And overall, especially if you sort by damage, there is Habib, Banny, Jay, all of Corsia, then Blaze and Eric. And I think that really tells most of the story. Is just the flank of Froyo had a really rough game. I don't know if it was just Blaze not playing this map, probably at all, maybe a couple times in scrims, but very little playtime. Probably doesn't know that much what's happening. But I definitely want to give some credit to Brand Slam. Dropped 40. I know Alex had a bunch of big moments. Yite had a bunch of big moments. As Katie doesn't say so, but he definitely did. And overall, I think this was definitely a good match. And I'll go into a bit later, but yeah, I think this was definitely a good game to watch overall. And if you haven't seen it, make sure to watch the VOD. It was a great time, back and forth, and it's a new map that you usually don't see. I think nobody really would have expected Corsia to pick Villa. I definitely, when I saw this team, I thought they'd just be someone who wouldn't pick Villa at all.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, coming into this game, Blaze and Eric, in the past they've done pretty consistently, but this match I think they really fell off. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just a bad day for them, but
The thing is, Eric dropped 48 and 31 in map 1. And then map 2, it was just
yeah, it's
night
something
and
about
day.
Villa. But like Brand Slam, Trip, like I was constantly on their camera, just because they were getting so many like frags. Trip was getting in so good. Like if there was one match that he was named number 1 in, this would be it. I'm not sure if you remember this, but he got he bombed in and then pickaxe skis into a drop, and it was just like he got the med 6 times. Brand Slam just decimated the soldiers, just like absolutely denied them. Blaze got killed by Scout 21 times, Jay 18. it was just the perfect combination of denial of the Froyo soldiers and Trip and Ash getting the space that they wanted and the picks that they wanted at the very right times. And then also, I recognize that when Froyo was pushing into Corsia's last, Corsia, they held on, because usually on this map it's very awkward to hold the last point of Villa. There's not really, you're either like on the point or you're in spawn. But Corsia kind of impressed me, holding back Froyo and then even going coast to coast as well. Is there anything that you recognize from this match?
Yeah, I remember the last pushes Habib just had a pretty rough time a lot of times on the Ubers, where he bombed in, went too far, got like tagged up by a sentry, or overextended, got picked off somewhere. And it's really just lack of experience, I think, because there were just some sloppy mistakes like that you usually wouldn't see on a map like Snakewater, which even so, you did see a couple times on Snake where Habib kind of went a little bit too quick, maybe got caught by either a gun, got insta-killed by, I remember, Alex once or twice. But yeah, definitely an interesting match, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Froyo let this through the pick ban, but I don't know what else they would ban besides this, really, if they wanted to, unless there's something that's really, really good for Corsair.
I'm hoping we see this map in Grand Finals. That's my dream.
I could definitely, if any team was to let this slip through Grands, it would be Froyo, because they're definitely going to put their homework in. And this happens every time. If they lose a match or have a close game, they really just turn it up. When playoffs come around, it's a lot harder, because they put a lot more time into the out of game stuff. The map reviews. Banny brings everyone in. You got to watch the demo after you lose. You got to do a map review, and they're always on top of it. So if any team is to bounce back from this, and I think they have a match this week, if I'm not wrong, against each other, and this is going to be, for me, the real tell if Corsia can really hang in the playoffs, if they can take the win. And this time around, it is Froyo's map pick. So, give or take maybe a few more rounds in Froyo's favor, just because they're going to get a map they're more comfortable on. But, yeah.
But I think if we have anything else to say about this, we can go ahead and move on to the next match. Week 7B, Corsia versus Morning Light. This was the map. This was the match after the huge Froyo Corsia.
Yeah, this was ugly.
Well, yeah, I would agree. I expected... so this is another Villa match, and I was expecting Morning Light to kind of... I was expecting this match to be a lot closer, but seeing how Corsia actually took this map against Froyotech, I'm not surprised that they actually rolled Morning Light, because Froyo, I think, rolled Morning Light as well on Villa the last time they played that. And this is a 17-minute match, 5-0. And it honestly, there's not much I can tell from it, because there's like a total of like 60 frags or something. So I can't really extrapolate anything from this.
Well, the main thing is, I looked at it. The pick ban happened on the day of the Froyo match. So, and I don't blame Morning Light for letting this map slip, because I don't really think that Corsia really showed any interest in this map, because I don't think they picked it at all. And yeah, they just come out, and it's unfortunate because they let it slip through after or before the Froyo match, so they didn't have any knowledge how good they'd be. And after I saw that, and I know Morning Light's definitely not going to be scrimming this map really at all, and in the future this is probably going to be a map gone. And the problem is when it leads into playoffs, unless the format is changed, you only get one ban before a pick comes in. You got to decide, do we want Villa or do we want Clear Cut? Because Corsia also looked very good on Clear Cut earlier in the season. So getting into the playoffs next week, we'll probably talk about it a bit more then. But yeah, just overall, really poor game. They won 1 mid out of 5. I remember people saying Psy had a terrible second half, even though they won a mid 0-3, 70 DPM,
Yikes.
which is surprising, very surprising for Psy. I don't know if it's an off game or maybe this is a bit of a tell, but I feel like he'll still do his thing later in this playoffs. And the problem is, you want to keep Psy comfortable, but he's going to have to be uncomfortable in these playoffs, because either you're playing Villa or you're playing some Koth map, which Psy hates Koth because he's just a slower player, and Koth kind of forces a faster pace, and it's just not good for him.
Yeah, Psy 0-3, 70 DPM. He got 0 damage on his Iron Bomber. 9% accuracy on his sticky launch. I know sticky launcher accuracy doesn't mean much, but it just seemed like he never really got any foothold in any, like, holding any points or any like, honestly, it just seemed like they were rolled. But yeah, I think if we're done with this one, we can go ahead and move on to the last match that we have to review here. A little bit closer, but it is the Wonderwall versus Witness Gaming. Who'd you say was winning this one? Wonderwall, right?
Witness won this.
Oh, Witness won this.
Who did I say was? Okay, I don't know. I kind of, if I had to say, I'd probably want you guys to watch this match instead, but I completely understand why. Just because this has some playoff implication more so than the other one. But too late for that. But this match, I think it's a strange one. So first half, 3-2 to Witness. And I think this is the first time in a very long time. Second half was a 0-0. Especially where Wonderwall won the mid.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to watch this demo, but I just didn't really have time for it, or didn't have any desire to really watch a demo. But yeah, just super surprising. And this definitely opens the door a little bit more for Witness, even though they're going to have a really, really tough way to make it into the playoffs. Something I love to see, but probably won't happen. It happens in the NBA now. They allowed the 8th and 9th seed, I think 7 through 10 actually play in games. Imagine they have a tied record. I know that's not how the playoff works, and it kind of makes the regular season a little bit less interesting, but imagine a play-in game, a BO3 between Witness and Wonderwall for the playoff spot. It's not going to happen because it's already said playoffs are determined by first win-loss, then round win percentage, which is total rounds won divided by total rounds played. So, yeah, but overall, just a really surprising game. Even so, I'm looking at this now. I didn't look at it before. Wonderwall won 4 out of the 5 mids in the first half and lost 3-2, which is, this week has been a strange thing. You win the mid, you don't really win the half, apparently. And yeah, just a really surprising game. You know, Sin Karma had a great game in the first half. They were keeping that Rio combo scout Yosh sniper, which honestly, I think I love. It's super interesting. Warwick's had a really good second half. And yeah, just overall, really surprising game. Probably going to watch this demo at some point. Maybe not. Probably not, actually.
How does this even happen?
The thing is just how 5CP really works is there's no reason for Witness to do anything if they have a disadvantage. Even if they have an advantage, it's just how 5CP plays. If you have the lead, there's no reason for you to really do much besides send really low risk sniper one-mans. And it's, I don't know, that's why I don't really like 5CP as a game mode. I understand why people do, but I think it's just extremely boring. I love Koth, but yeah, that's just what happens in some of these games. This is a really rare case. Usually most teams are a little bit more aggressive. But yeah, it looked like Witness was definitely down to only push when they had a huge advantage. And pretty back and forth, actually. 16 caps to 15 caps means it was back and forth as ever. And yeah, definitely probably a great match to watch. Maybe not as interesting in the second half, but maybe actually with that many caps and how back and forth it seemed overall.
Yeah, looking at the events, it seemed like a few times actually both teams Ubered. One team capped 1 point. They Ubered again. The other team pushed back. And then it's pretty much just like back and forth like that. It's not really any point where there's no like momentum in this game. They do something, somebody caps the point, they stay there, they wait. Then they pop Uber again, and then it like moves the other way. So it's just like tug of war. But like honestly, it's just it's so unbelievable that this happened in the first place. But looking at the players, Walrex exceeding my expectations. Almost top fragging, top damaging. I didn't expect him to do as much work as he would on this match, especially with our power rankings. But you know, I think this is just a weird match overall. Sin Karma, I think, not doing as well as I thought.
He did well in the first half. The second one,
I'm assuming
he was holding traps a lot of the times. But.
Yeah, 6 and 16, 207 DPM. It's really weird. This entire second half. It's like I don't know. It's like some people like played with bots or something. I don't know. It's just weird. I just want to get this out of here. But unless you have anything else to say about this match.
I don't know. Since it was so close, I'm like looking at the stats to see who really did bad, but no one really did. Especially, there's no combined logs. I don't know. I tried to do it, but the site I use doesn't work right now. But yeah, it was nobody really had a bad match overall. Maybe like Sin Karma and Sam had poor second halves, but the first halves top of the leaderboards, and just overall very close in kills, very close in damage. Main difference was the mids in favor of Wonderwall. They won 5 mids to 1, and they lost the game. And just overall, really surprising game. And I think you definitely got to give credit to Witness, who definitely did not give up. They got some fight left in them, and they definitely did not put the season aside, even though it's somewhat unlikely. I'd love to see a miracle story where they do make the playoffs or some little play-in game, but it's kind of unfair to just pop out of nowhere and be like, yeah, you did technically make playoffs, but you didn't. But
yeah. Just want to point out that we had, on the second half alone, we had 11 mid captures, and 8 like second point captures. Actually, that's 20 second point captures. So it was just like back and forth the entire game. That's like 30 something captures over 30 minutes. So it's basically like one capture every minute.
Yeah, that seems like the most interesting 0-0 game I've ever heard of. You have more than a cap a minute because there's 31 total caps. And yeah, that's insane to look at. No one got around. So, and there wasn't, the thing is, usually when you see a game like this, there's a lot of NG played, but in total, there was about 2.5, 1 minute, 3 minutes, just not much NG played. So it didn't look like it was that stalemate-y. There wasn't too many off-class plays. So definitely probably watch at some point, but that is all the matches that at least we have written down. Maybe there were more that happened this week, but I think this is it, unless there were some other matches that really weren't as close where we remember it.
I think that's all that was played this week, but yeah, I think our next segment we're going to be going into these matches here. So these matches are going to be played this week most likely, as this is the last week before playoffs. And so these are going to be, if you want to start off with the first one.
There's 14 matches, right? Okay, let me. First match we have Morning Light versus Global Clan. On Snakewater, it should be on Tuesday. Wait, that's 10th.
On the 10th, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Tuesday, and this is where the season gets a little bit more boring, just because there's no playoff implications. Most of it's already set. There are only, I think there's a couple matches that have some sort of implications in the future, but yeah, it's going to be a bit rough for some of these matches. I definitely don't think this is going to be a great match for Global Clan, just especially because they have 0 wins right now. Morning Light, it's going to be hard just because Morning Light's probably just going to shoot them way harder than Global Clan's going to shoot. And it's really, it's rough unless you're a great team to really overcome a difference in deathmatch. And it's Snakewater, which Morning Light, even though they lost to Corsia in the past, they've looked great on this map. They had a really convincing win against Wonderwall. And I don't think there's much of a chance for Global Clan to get a win here.
Yeah, it's going to be a sad whimpering of Global Clan exiting this season. But I think coming into this match, like you said, Morning Light is the obvious favor. So I'm gonna say that Morning Light gonna get that 5-0 against Global Clan. Sadly, I don't think this is gonna be an exciting match. But it's not much to say about this. Honestly, it's just one of those matches where it's an obvious skill gap, and you'll definitely see that in the logs and in the match rounds. So I'm just gonna say 5-0 for Morning Light.
I think it's definitely safe to say. You know what? I'll give them a benefit of the doubt. One round for them, but not much really to say there.
Yeah,
overall,
there's just like no potential for it to go any other way, in my opinion. But this next match, like you said, it's gonna be Froyo versus Corsia being played on Tuesday, as far as we know. Let me check the map bans. Okay, so we have 2 maps left, one of which is Villa, and...
There should be 3, I think.
3?
Because it's 9 maps in total, you ban 6. So let me try and think. So there is Process left. So there's Snake, Clear Cut, Product. So all the cots are gone. There is Villa, Process, and Metal left.
Metalworks.
And out of those, you'd probably see them... Ooh, let me look at courses.
Let's get that 3rd Villa.
I don't know. I could see Froyo pick Villa just for that practice, because it's definitely a good thing to practice. Because regular season really doesn't matter for both of these, or at least for Froyo right now, because I think it's almost guaranteed they have the 1 seed. Corsia already is. They're gonna if anything, they'll have a tied record if Corsia wins every game and Froyo loses this game, and it's just gonna be the round differential, or round win percentage. It's long word, but no matter what, it's gonna be in Froyo's favor because they don't really drop rounds to teams below them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a little bit rough for them. But no matter what, they have 1st seed. Corsia 100%, I think, has 2nd seed. I'll have to look at it a bit more if I really want to confirm. But right now, that is what it looks like. And so Corsia played Process once. They beat Wonderwall 5-1. Metalworks, they lost to Morning Light earlier. And I think that's it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Froyo pick either of those 2 maps. It's kind of a hard thing because matches really, there's a lot of scrims that go into really what map you favor. And Froyo played Process once against Morning Light and 5-0'd. They played Metal.
I think with these maps, I think there's one question you want. Are they looking to get practice on Villa, or are they looking for a win? Because as you mentioned, no matter what, Froyo is going to be 1st seed. So coming into the playoffs, do they want to get this extra practice, or do they want the W? If they want the W, then I would not be surprised if they pick Process, more likely Metalworks, I think. If they want practice, and they don't care if they take another L, they would probably pick Villa. So I would be guessing, I wouldn't be surprised if they picked Villa just for practice. But I don't think the Banny's the L type of person, so I'm gonna think that they're gonna pick either Process or Metalworks.
There's kind of like a thing. Either you want to show that you really got it, because I wouldn't be surprised if Froyo came in and looked better than they did last time.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, either do you want to show that you don't have a weak map and try and win on Villa, or you want to just keep it in your back pocket and just know Corsia's probably going to pick this in the playoffs, and if we get really good at it, and they're probably going to scrim on it, so maybe it won't be as secret, but do you want to try and bait them into maybe a playoff pick if you really feel confident that you did your homework, you did your map reviews, which 100% they're going to do. Mm-hmm. I think Blaze and Eric are going to definitely look better, and it's going to be a lot on the individuals of Corsia to really try and take it over if Froyo really pulls out their playoff mode in the future, at least.
Yeah. It's like 40 chess, but I'm gonna guess that they. I don't really know, but I'm gonna just take a guess with the scoreline. So we know it's gonna be 5 CP. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be another 5-4 because first 2 rounds they were 5-4. But this time I'm gonna say that Froyotech is gonna take it 5-4. Just because that post match interview we had with Zilly. He didn't seem too confident, so I'm gonna say that they actually I'm gonna say Fury does 5-3 just because of that. So I'm gonna think that Fury is gonna be definitely improved this match coming around.
Yeah, Zilly always does that. After playing with him, talking to him a bunch, he always does stuff like that. And yeah, I kind of do agree with you. I think I wouldn't be, I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to say Froyo is going to pick Metal. And I think it's going to be a 5-3. A couple factors, I think, I kind of forgot, but Froyo had a week off because I think Banny was out of town, which probably contributed to this. And they probably do a little bit more homework on these new maps if they had that week back. And just knowing Froyo, the later in the season it gets, the better they get, just because they have more time to put in, and they do put more time into the actual out-of-game stuff. And they have the best leader in TF2, best caller, best leader, and I think the top 2 players in the game right now, without a doubt. So it's pretty rough
Only
And
top
I
two?
want to believe what?
Only top two?
I think guaranteed top two. Other ones you could probably debate, but right now, guaranteed top two, maybe top three. But right now, I think you definitely can say Habib and Banny are
Yeah.
100% top two. I think you can argue Jay is three, but you can definitely argue that point. But I definitely think he's shown that it is. But I think undebatably top two players. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Maybe we'll do it later on some other time. But yeah, it's definitely hard to get over that hump, and a lot of times you got to have some people pop off. In these games they had like 2 or 3 people play really really well, and nobody played poorly. So yeah, I definitely would like to see Corsia win this game and to give me a little bit more hope. But with all the past results, I just pointing to the stats, because stats are the past. They are events that have happened, and it points towards Froyo improving.
Yeah.
After a loss,
I think the history too. They've dropped some rounds to teams, but during playoffs, they usually just, I don't know, sweep right through it into grand finals and first place. Much to many people's disappointment, but that's just usually what happens. So yeah, I don't see any indication that they are gonna keep dropping as many rounds as they have been. But yeah, do you have anything else to say about this exciting matchup?
No, just really waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
Main thing.
Hopefully, we get the map that they're gonna be playing. But coming in next, not as exciting, but it's gonna be Wonderwall versus Freo. We think on Tuesday. Just coming into this, I think unless they have a really weird map
It's
pick.
proposed for Thursday right now, and they already
Okay.
have, I think, their match guaranteed on Tuesday against Corsia, if I'm not wrong. I think so, right? And yeah, that's probably gonna be Thursday. And in the past, I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure Wonderwall really doesn't try their hardest against Froyo. I remember in one of the games they kind of off-classed a bit. They got 4-0 on Product, they got 5-0 on Goalie, and I have a feeling they won't probably try their hardest. And if I were them, I probably would, because getting an extra round or two, I think, would be a good enough buffer. I haven't done the math. If I was a bit more prepared, I could have a spreadsheet of the hypothetically if they drop all the rounds and Witness Gaming gets all the rounds and see if it's even possible. But yeah, so for most likely going to be a 5-0, and let me try and think of what process metal and what's the last map I always forget.
Goalie.
Yeah, process metal Goalie. Last time Goalie wasn't great. It's Wonderwall's pick. They're probably gonna pick metal because they won against Morning Light earlier. But yeah, I just don't have too much confidence. I don't know if they have that much confidence.
So you think it's 5-0?
I'd say 5-1. I think Wonderwall probably have a little bit more of a hustle, a little pep in their step after having a loss to another team that's really close in the playoffs, even though it's unlikely. I'd hate to say, but
yeah. I would agree with you. I'm not the type to give them a mercy round though, so I'm gonna say 5-0 for Froyo.
I always give the benefit of the doubt,
You're always so nice.
Promise I don't want a message, 5-0 is disrespectful. I don't want to get a message from someone,
Yeah, people do that, but I think if you don't have anything else to say about this one, we can move on to Global Clan versus Corsia. Scheduled for Tuesday.
It's probably not, just like I said earlier.
Proposed for Thursday. So yeah, obviously not going to play on the time that it was intended, but Global Clan.
It never happens.
No, it doesn't. But coming in, there hasn't been any map picking or banning, so this is pretty open-ended. But I'm going to say, with Corsia beating Froyo on a map and Global Clan not having a single win this season, I'm gonna say it's just gonna be a 5-0 Corsia.
Yeah, for somebody we could do at the end of the season, but I'm gonna hold it. But I don't know. I think this is what I will say 5-0 for, just because Corsia look great. They're on a high note. Maybe they'll mess around a little bit just because they're playing. They've 100% confirmed second seed. Let me look at it again just to make sure. But yeah, they look great. Global Clan hasn't. They don't have any wins in the season. And yeah, I don't know what map Global Clan could take that they would have an advantage over Corsia, because I think Corsia's looks better on every map, you could say, especially the weird maps, because they looked good on Villa. They look good on Clear Cut. Global Clan didn't look great on Viaduct. I don't know how Corsia did, but Yeah, let me look at this. They have 5 round wins throughout the entire season. They've played 48 rounds. They have a 10.41% round win percentage.
Yikes.
0-10. Rough to see. I really like Ed as a player. I think he's super good, but just this team overall has just been insanely underwhelming. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them back next season. But I really hope some new teams come in the fray and we can have some like cup for the actual final seeds that has been happening in TF2 in the past. But usually it's been hard. A lot of people don't want to play invite, but it'd be super cool to see you compete for that final spot. But that requires there to be more than 8 teams trying to play invite next season.
Yeah. And one person in chat says so bad that they don't even get your mercy round. Although I have to point out, Global Clan actually did take 1 round off of Corsia in the beginning of the season on Sunshine, so it's not totally implausible that they get a round. So I'll go ahead and do it for you.
All right, to be fair,
I'll give them a 5-1.
They haven't gone around since map week 3A.
Yeah,
they have not gone around.
But that was Corsia. That was versus Corsia. So I don't know. I'll give them benefit of the doubt. I'll take your place.
All right.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it was 5-0. I'll give them like a 5.5. 5 and 1/2, yeah.
They'll get to the other team's last and then lose. Is that what the half is?
Yeah.
I feel like that's half a round, you know? You get to the other team's last, you get a last push, lose it, get sent back to your own last and lose.
Yeah. But I think that's going to be kind of a roll. But coming into this next match, Witness Gaming versus Corsia. Witness Gaming not as obviously bad as Global Clan, sadly, but I mean, they're maybe one step up, but I still think Corsia is gonna kind of roll them. Let me see if they've ever gotten a mercy round from Corsia. Nope, 5-0.
Wait, are there 15?
5-1. What's that?
Okay, there are 15 maps in each schedule. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, why do they have 2 matches left and 13 played? But yeah, like you said, I don't think they really had great showings against Corsia, like you said. And let me double check. Let me fact check because I don't want to be wrong. But yeah. So right now, how the playoffs is work. Actually, maybe I'll get to this later when we get to the actual team power rankings. But yeah, I'm sorry to interrupted. You can continue.
No, you're good. I was just saying how in the past Corsia has they've only played Snakewater together. Witness Gaming getting 1 round in the latest. So I'm gonna say there's a pattern here, and I'm gonna give Witness Gaming 2 courtesy rounds, just in the order of 0, 1, 2. So I'm gonna say Corsia, they may choke a little from Tech, but I'm gonna say 5-2 for Corsia.
That linear progression, no exponential. They're not going up fast.
It's not gonna be 5-4. I'll tell you that.
Okay, all right. Very believable. But so this is a must-win for Witness, one of these games. And I think if I'm them, both of them, because you really don't want to leave it into the other team's hands. It's kind of just not a great look for you to leave it in the other team's hands in this way. But I think it's probably safe to say I'd agree with you, 5-2. Have they done any map bans yet, or is it still just?
Yes, they have. Witness banned Snakewater, Clearcut, Product, Corsia banned Goalie, Bagel, and then we're waiting for Corsia's next map ban. So we have Process, we have Villa, we have Metal, we have.
God, I always forget. I've played this game for so many seasons, and I don't know these maps.
Process, Villa, Metal.
let me think about it. Snake, Process, Snake. What?
Chat, help us.
No.
What are we missing?
Are we missing Sunshine?
Sunshine, yes.
Boom!
There we go.
I have so many seasons played, and I cannot remember all the maps if you just ask me. I always miss 1-5 CP.
Yeah, but all 5 CP are the same. But I think, Corsia, if they choke a little, I think Witness the man, the player, not the team.
And
with with these two last rounds for Witness Gaming, I'm gonna hope he goes to them and gives them a really nice pep talk, yells at them enough, and they manage to claw 2 rounds away from Corsia. I hope they don't go out without a fight, but I'm just gonna give them 2 mercy rounds, and it's more wishful thinking than anything else. But yeah, that's my prediction.
Right, give me a second. I'm doing a little bit of math right now.
Mathematician.
Yep. I need to make sure something is true or not.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so technically, it's a lot more likely than I thought. But if Witness win both their games 5-0, they have a 45.3% round win. And let's say Wonderball doesn't get a single round, very unlikely in these next 2 games they will have a 38.75%. So, given that, it is definitely possible for Witness. It's a lot more likely than I thought for them to make the playoffs. It just requires Wonderball to lose at least one of their games by a decent margin, or at least have low-scoring games where they won't get that many rounds won compared to the rounds lost. And Witness needs a very, very good ending, which they have if you look at strength of schedule, it is big difference. Witness is playing Corsia Morning Light, the 2 and 3 teams.
Yeah.
Wonderball is playing the last seed and the first seed. So most likely they're going to get 5 rounds in one of those fixtures, which is going to be a little bit hard for Witness to win there. But I think I will say for this, I think I said 5-2, right?
Yeah. You agreed with me.
All right.
But yeah, for that, I hope it's a bit closer. I'm sick of 5-0, so here's hoping that it's a good match. But coming into this next match, that is going to be Week 7A, Witness Gaming versus Corsia on the 11th. So
that's the one we just did.
Oh, no.
Morning Light
versus Witness Gaming. Okay. Week 8A on Thursday, I believe.
And it's on Villa.
Is it?
Witness is pulling out the Villa. I think they saw how Morning Light did, and they liked it. And I'm very surprised that actually, maybe not so much, because they banned every single Koth map. So they made the decision, we're not playing Koth, we're playing Villa now. And if I'm them, I'm putting my time in, but you don't really need to because they have playoffs confirmed. But maybe you want to try and see if you can get better at it for playoffs where you don't have to auto-ban it, which most likely will happen, which I'd love to see how the playoffs look for them and how good they look in the Koths. But right now, this is honestly probably the best case scenario for Witness, I think.
Yeah.
Because they haven't played it. I don't think they've played it so far this season. And Morning Light didn't look great. And I'm assuming Witness is going to look better because a lot of these players played in Div 1 last season where you are forced to play every map in the pool besides Bagel, which is invite only. And I think the majority of them do have experience on Villa besides maybe Yosh. I don't even remember what Yosh did last season, but I don't think he did play this map that often. And yeah, I think they definitely would have the advantage in this matchup. And especially so far, I think, actually, I can't even say mids are their strong suit, but they definitely look like a pretty good team overall. And I'd like to hear what you got to say about this matchup here.
Yeah, on this match, I think this is, the biggest consequence of just completely banning King of the Hill. Because Witness Gaming was in total control of what map it is, and the fact that they picked Villa, Morning Light hasn't been as strong as we would expect on Villa. They lost 5-1 against Raytech. I thought it would be a lot closer versus Raytech. And then they also lost 5-0 versus Corsia. If I were Morning Light, I wouldn't ban King of the Hill because odds are you're probably going to play it sometime in the playoffs, and it's better that you play King of the Hill or have the chance to play King of the Hill versus Witness Gaming than just waiting until playoffs and then you get completely fucked by a single map pick for King of the Hill, and letting Witness pick, I think, your worst map that you don't outright ban is because I know Morning Light hates Villa, and it just seems like Morning Light just, I don't know, they weren't very smart in terms of map picking, so It's kind of hard to say, but I don't think Morning Light's going to seem too confident or do any rolls. So I'm going to say that Morning Light might etch out a 5-3. I'm going to give Witness 3 Mercy rounds. Although it's not really Mercy.
All right, I love the pick ban, theory crafting. And if I'm them, so the problem is Witness has looked good on 2 of the 3 COTS so far this season. They 4-0'd Global Clan. They lost 4-0 on Bagel to Froyo, but it is Froyo. And then they beat 2 teams that you probably, at least one team you wouldn't expect, on process or product, not dropping around. If I'm them, I am letting Clear Cut slip through. But the problem is, Morning Light also didn't look great on Clear Cut, but I definitely think a lot of the problems could be solvable just because they looked like they were playing that map fundamentally wrong, at least at the beginning of the season, from what I understand. But now they're in a little bit of a rough situation I really wouldn't want to be in at the moment. And you know what? I love the theatrics of, the playoff race. I'm going to say Witness Gaming wins 5-2.
Oh, wow.
I'm going out on a limb. I believe in Witness. I think they definitely put more work. And watching the Sin Karma streams at the beginning of the season, I don't think he's been streaming, or I haven't really been looking for watching TF2 streams as much anymore. But they definitely look like some grinders, I really respect it. They're trying their best. First season of Invite for a lot of these guys. And a map that I don't think, if I asked the people on Morning Light, I don't think they'd feel very confident on Villa. And yeah, the mids are rough on this map, especially like what we said. I think the second half of the game against Corsia, they won a mid. Inside did not get any damage that game. And from looking at this, it looks like a pretty good demo mid. At least maybe that's just the upper echelon of Habib looking great on that map. And yeah, I don't know. I think Sin Karma's going to have a field day. A lot of this game's probably going to be on the flank battle, where I think you could definitely give the edge to more. Maybe not definitely, because I think the Witness Gaming flank's definitely been warming up to me throughout the season. But I definitely think right now you could say the flank of Morning Light is more experienced, and I think you could say they have a better track record at this point in time. But I definitely think this is a proving ground for a lot of these guys on Witness Gaming. I think this is the real match of the season where it's gonna all matter. The last match they played against Wonderwall, the last 2 they have actually been really important, but I think this is where it all comes down to it. This is the final match. This is what the season's been building up to, and this is their last chance to make playoffs here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Witness Gaming actually took it, because Morning Light actually lost to Wonderwall. They were actually really close to Witness Gaming, and they only won 5-3 on Sunshine. And like coming into this map, with Morning Light hating it and not being too good on it, I wouldn't be surprised if Witness starts getting some points off of them. Like you said, 5-2. Honestly, if you said any score line except like 5-0 or 5-1 for Morning Light, I wouldn't be surprised to see any of that. So this is definitely Witness's match to win.
I really want to do some theory crafting, but yeah, I think this would be such a cool match to watch, and if they win, that'll be amazing. I'd love to see it. I think this is the ultimate Cinderella story of the season. I think most people would tend to agree with that, just because like overall I don't think anyone really would have believed in these guys, at least to this degree of being in the playoff race this late in the season. And it's definitely still possible. I am a stats nerd. I'm trying to put something together. But yeah. So can you take away the next segment?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to quickly.
Just recapping, we had Froid versus Corsia on Tuesday, and then I think I'm going to see about if we can cast the Witness Gaming versus Morning Light this Thursday. Provided they do that. Let me just check real quick if they have anything. Okay, yeah. So they're going to play that on Thursday. Hopefully you can bring you those too. But coming into this next segment, so we've kind of gave our theories for who's going to win it. So this segment is going to be our power rankings. Looking at our past power rankings, we have very close rankings. So you rated Furry Tech, Corsia, Wonderwall, Morning Light, Witness Gaming, Global Clan. I pretty much had the same exact thing, just switching Morning Light and Wonderwall. And have you crafted any more theories here?
I have. So I think, oh, I forgot the numbers I used. But so hypothetically, in my hypothetical world, I think the most likely thing that would happen. So I'm going to say Wonderwall and Witness, the percentage they have right now is 44.3. If you don't like analytics, too bad, because I love analytics. This is very analytic, but stats. But so let's say hypothetically, right now, Wonderwall has a 44.3% win per round percentage, and Witness has a 36.9. And so let's say the hypothetical world, I said Froyo wins 5-0 and Wonderwall wins 5-1 against Global Clan, which leaves them with a 44.4% round win percentage. And I'm going to say Witness, in my prediction, they win 5-2 against Morning Light, and I'm going to say they're going to lose, I think I said 5-2.
Yeah,
5-2 against Corsia would leave them at a 39.2%. So they need to either win out or just not drop rounds, or they need to win both games because they are tied right now. And I'm going to assume Wonderwall is going to win a game. So if they want to make playoffs, they have to win both of them, guaranteed. Where it takes it entirely out of Wonderwall's hands, but it's going to be a lot on how the margin of victory for both these teams, which I'd love to see later on. But so we're going on to the predictions. Do you want to start from the
Power rankings,
bottom?
Yeah,
the power rankings.
We've always started from the bottom. Coming into this, I think you can both agree that Global Clan isn't gonna, make a last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're not moving. I'm sorry to say.
And then coming up after that, Witness Gaming. They haven't really been consistently trading with others. So Morning Light, Wonderwall, they've been kind of trading places and matches with each other. But Witness Gaming, while they might have had a few good matches, they're not really as consistent as the other ones. Right now, they're tied with Wonderwall in terms of wins, losses, but I don't know. I don't think I can move it up anything. I can't move them anywhere from 1 to 3. If I can rank teams on the same level, then I would do Wonderwall and Witness Gaming. But I just think coming into Wonderwall versus Witness, the matches, it seems like they seem to trade matches actually, so it's just kind of luck of the draw for me. But I think I'm going to keep my bottom 3 ranking. How about you?
You know what? I'm feeling it. Wonderwall, I'm going to be rough on y'all because I believe, but right now I've been proved wrong too many times. Too many times for my liking. Let me double check the past results because they lost to Witness twice. They lost to, or they beat Morning Light actually. But they lost to Witness twice. You know what? I'm your biggest fan. Maybe not your biggest fan, but I'm a fan of the team. But right now, I think you guys need to step it up. I am moving Wonderwall down to 5.
Ooh.
I'm moving Morning Light up to 3, and I'm moving Witness up to 4 right now. Because I think right now, Witness is definitely a playoff. I think they're playing more like a playoff team than Wonderwall right now. Wonderwall had a great start of the season. I think you could definitely say. They opened up the season great. They were beating up the teams I definitely think is say that were lower level. They beat Global Clan. They beat Witness early in the season. But when that mid-season mark came over, 5-1 to Morning Light, 4-0 to Witness, 5-0 to Froyo, 5-1 to Corsia, given they beat Morning Light 5-2 on Metal. But once again, they have lost 3-2 against Witness. And I definitely think Witness deserves a little bit more props than I have been giving them. And Wonderwall, love y'all, but you guys need to step it up. If you make playoffs, right now, I don't know. I think their best matchup, 100%. I don't know if they can really fight with Corsi and Froyo, but I definitely think they can stand up to Morning Light, and they've shown in the past, and it's going to be a lot in that map pick and ban. But right now, I'm gonna say this is my bottom bottom four. A little bit weird to say bottom four for more
Yeah.
teams than there are in the entire league, or majority, 4 to 6. But yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna say right now.
Okay. I respect it, and I kind of agree with your theories that you've crafted, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and swap Witness and Wonderball. Like we said.
Damn you! Now we have the same list.
I'm sorry, but it just coming into these last few matches for the season, I think Witness is gonna have a better time, an easier path to a higher rank than Wonderball. So I might not agree with these rankings. I just think that the end rankings, like the team placement, is going to look more like this. I might not agree with saying Wonderwall is worse than Witness, but I just think this is going to be the end result of the placings right here.
I'm theory crafting again. Something I think be sick for future seasons for the playoff determination is it goes win-loss, head-to-head. If you've tied head-to-head win, it's probably you played each team twice. Mm-hmm. Sudden death, final game of the season, playoff play-in, one map to determine it all. You throw win round percentage out the window, and then you have this. And that would be so sick. You cannot tell me that would not be the most hype thing ever. One game. Usually it doesn't come down to the two teams playing for the final playoff, like say. Mm-hmm. But you cannot tell me that would not be hype as hell. Because most likely it's going to be a tied win record, and it's going to come down to win per round percentage. It's very unlikely Witness is going to win in that factor. If it was head-to-head, they would be in the playoffs, but they're not. But I think it'd be safe to... That'd be so cool, because Witness has the head-to-head. Wonderball has the round win percentage. If those cancel out, they offset each other, that play in. But I think that'd be a disservice to how Wonderball thought the playoff seeding would work, and I think you definitely give it to whoever's the higher win round percentage. Which I think my rankings I'm predicting that Wonderball's going to make the playoffs, but I think that Witness is the better team right now.
Yeah, I'm hearing this correctly. Okay, I think we have an opening in the Sixes head admin. If you maybe want to take that place. And,
I'm not trying to deal with the community. I've seen what happens every single season, and I am not trying to deal with people like that. That looks like hell. Props to all the admins. I'm not dealing with TF2 players. There is too many people that are too entitled, crazy. I'm not trying to deal with the politics of TF2.
How about Vice head admin? How about that?
I'm down to give an opinion on stuff. If y'all have any, y'all want something for that, but haven't been asked so far. Because I have ideas. I got nothing but ideas. If you guys are low on them,
just make a thread on TF2, and if it gets like 8 pages, then they'll probably implement it. But yeah, I mean, if you're listening, guys, let's get those head-to-head matches up. But what other theories do you have here before we move into our Q&A section?
I'm going to save the theories for the end of season podcast. Maybe we'll have like the finale or the thing before the finale where I spew for an hour. But yeah, so I think we have our 3 through 6 teams. Do you want to change your 1 and 2 at all?
Honestly, like we mentioned earlier, I think Verotech's going to be only getting stronger from here. I could be corrected in... They're playing this week, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they have one last round.
If Corsia takes it at least like 5 or 2 rounds more than Froyo does, like a 5-3, 4-2, I could see me switching those two. But as of right now, I mean, that was only one night. Maybe if Corsia had like consistent close matches with Verotech throughout the season, then I could say that Corsia might be first place. But considering that was only one night, and it might just be a bad night for Blaze and Eric and a good night for Grand Slam Trip, I'm gonna say that was like a one-off. I might be corrected this week, but I'm gonna keep that for Verotech first place.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. And yeah, I'm gonna keep mine the same. Do we want to do player power rankings, or do we want to move on to questions and then finish?
We can save the player power
Okay.
rankings for next week before playoffs, I believe.
All right. Sounds good. So we got some questions in the Discord. I guess we can let's do the first one on that was from today.
So,
I haven't thought about this at all. So
first question from Popto Bob. What alternative nerfs to Scout besides med speed do you think we could add to the class? So basically, what could we do to nerf Scout besides med speed?
I don't know. I don't like Scout like med nerf because it just makes med harder, and I don't think that's a great thing for the future because you don't want people not to main med because in the past there definitely been med shortages. Now there's more and more meds that are definitely good, and I think Scout med speed, whatever you want to call it, I think it definitely provides for. I think it definitely makes Soldier worse, but I think overall as a role, Soldier's just going to be bad because Scouts got better, and Soldier, the meta how it is, Soldier's more of a utility class, which I hate to see. I was thinking of making some sort of video, something, lecture, whatever, rant at some point. Maybe I can do it here one of these weeks, but I don't know. Just how the meta is and how TF2 is right now. The best player on a team can't be a Soldier. It's just you can't succeed. You can't have major success with that. And right now, I think Scout's definitely good, and I kind of like how TF2 works right now. I don't really like what Scout med speed, and if people in TF2 say they don't like it, people were definitely high on it. They thought this would be the solution to TF2, and I haven't really kept up with TF2 all that much. But if people aren't liking it, I don't know if there's much you can really do to nerf Scout. If anything, you want to, instead of nerfing, because nerfing kind of, I think buffing is probably a better way to do things, and I think the only things you can really do to buff Soldier is like the gunboat. It's not really a fix, but it's kind of a buff where you don't take self-damage, where, for example, if you don't know, if you shoot a Scout right in your model, you're going to do normal rocket jump damage instead of gunboat damage. So instead of taking 20, you take like 60, and it used to happen a lot more. I remember when IT take a 1v1 with the Scout, I get one shot. I direct a Scout in my face, and I kill myself, basically. Because they shoot me once, do like 40, I do 60 myself, I get meat shot, I lose. So you kind of lose every matchup if a Scout's really good in that department. But I definitely think it's one of those things, as skill increases, Scout is just one of those classes that the better the players are, the better the class is going to be. Because in the past, given there was no Scout med speed, but Soldier Demo were the best classes. And now I think Scout is far and above the best class. Maybe you can debate Demo, but I think Scout definitely is the best. So I don't know if there's much you really can do to nerf Scout besides maybe buff Soldier a little bit. And yeah, I don't know what else. Scout's just a good class.
I mean, honestly, there's not too much you can change about Scout to kind of nerf it other than damage and mobility. I was thinking maybe like make it slightly less mobile with like changing, I don't know, the strafing or something. But honestly, what you said about buffing other classes, like get that Soldier buff and then get the much needed Demo buff. Like maybe move Demo to how it used to be.
The problem is, do you know how good Habib is now?
I know, but
dude, he'd be unstoppable.
You know how good like Scouts are now, too.
I think after playing Demo, I think people who play Demo and complain about a little bit of baby move. I think Demo's good. Every time I play Demo, given I played a couple invite scripts, but I haven't played that much. I don't think Demo's bad. I think Demo's a good place where if someone's close to you, you suck. Just because you shouldn't be good everywhere. If people aren't mid, far range, you're amazing. I think that's perfectly fine. What was something else you said? Changing the Scout strafe, I think, would be a disservice to TF2, just because I think a lot of the reason people love it is the movement. I think what you could do maybe is you nerf the winger, how ETF2 all did it, where you only get the jump buff when you have it out. Because I know there's a script people have that flicks it out just for your jumps, and it's a bind that just like changes to weapon 2, flips it off instantly, which I think is kind of dumb. So maybe you do that, but overall, I don't know. I don't think there's any unlocks that would make Soldier that much better, really, or unlocks that would make Scout worse, I guess. But
it's kind of hard to say because like if you mess with one class, you kind of have to mess with all the others. And I feel like the TF2 like mechanics are just so delicate. it's very hard to like, I don't know, change one variable, and changing one variable isn't going to make everything perfect, which is why I'm like very skeptical of like pro mods.
Okay. I'm looking at the whitelist now, and almost everything is unbanned for Soldier. The only thing that isn't is something that wouldn't make Soldier better. It'd make like Heavy better, make stuff like that better, because it's the Whip and the Cowming are the only thing banned. Demo has nothing banned, which I don't think there's any super broken weapon. But the problem with unbanning everything, which I've seen people opting to try and do, is Scout has the most broken unlocks. All their secondaries are insane. The Pretty Boy's Pocket Pistol is good. The Mad Milk is insane. The Guillotine would be insanely annoying combined with the ball, just constant bleed damage across the map. Criticola, it'd be annoying. I don't think it's as good as it used to be. Bonk, pretty annoying, and I think it's kind of dumb. It's not as good as it used to be, but still super annoying. And those are the most banned weapons on any class, is just Scout, because Scout is already good. And unbanning everything would make Scout undeniably better and infinitely more obnoxious and less fun to play, which I don't know. When I hear people say unbanning more stuff, there's a reason some things are banned, and I think we've done a good job of unbanning things that aren't like game breaking, or just they just make the game less fun, or maybe they are game breaking. Like I think the Cow Mangler definitely takes a little bit of depth out of the game, and I really don't like what it does. I don't really like what the Market Gardener does after like 2 seasons of seeing it being, or at least 1 season of it being played. I think it takes a lot of depth out of the game. I'd love to have a talk with people and invite, but don't know. I really just don't like how
I don't think.
I think Market Gardener was fun for like a couple of weeks, and now it's kind of, I don't like it. I think it's very boring.
What do you mean, like boring? Like
it takes the skill out of the other players. So given, like I see Soapy say, it rewards players with good mechanics, but what does what are you supposed to do? I've seen so many times where like a player gets air shot, Jay pulls out Market Gardener, they get 1 shot. Like what is the soldier supposed to do? Air shot you again?
It's just that
they got punished they can't do anything. A med can't do anything about it.
They're just not used to dealing with it.
No,
like,
you can't do anything. A medic can't do anything about Market Gardener. They
can. Like people like to walk away like strafing backwards, but if you like walk
no. Have you seen Jay?
I have, yes.
He goes so fast, you can't do anything. The only class that can maybe do something is Scout, and that requires a meat shot. Because if soldiers like Soapy and Jay go super, super fast, it's the difference is Sniper, same principle, is for Soldier, you're doing the same thing you would normally do with a little bit more like stuff.
Sniper takes, you're not going to be jumping into
the thing is Sniper is so immobile that this class isn't good because you can't move. But Soldier, you're getting even more damage for doing the same thing you do normally, and there's nothing the other team can do. With a Sniper, you just pressure him. You jump on him harder. You get deeper in. And the Market Gardener is so annoying to see.
You're literally jumping into the other class with your melee out, and you can only get like a kill when you're in the
problem is the weapon swap speed is so fast that even if you miss, you get 100 damage rocket off instantly.
I guess maybe change that, like holster.
Like, I think that's fine, but I just don't like what the Market Gardener does. I think it takes away from a lot of the skill of a soldier medic matchup where you got to time your rocket, you got to do stuff like that. And I just don't like what it looks.
You still have to time it with Market Gardener.
It's just I just think it's boring. I definitely love seeing a soldier bombing a med with a rocket more than a Market Gardener, just because it takes the skill out of the other player doing something and puts it all into one player.
I don't know. I mean, just as even more easily, you can just like sink a couple rockets, but I don't know.
We'll before, I thought it was like, oh, that's so sick, you got a marker. Now I just sigh because it's like, well, if I was playing, what am I supposed to do? It's like, and also, I think I've seen almost everything you do with the Market Gardener now, and it's gotten stale. I've seen way too many clips in the past season where
everybody sees like Jay doing good and like, oh, I'm gonna use it too. But
I definitely agree that people can't do the same things, but I think over time people are going to be able to get better at it because they're going to practice it more. And I've definitely seen examples of people getting very good with it. Like I've seen Walrix hit some Market Gardeners. I've seen Soapy, just stuff like that. I really don't like what it does to the game. I think it's definitely arguable. It's one of those gray areas where it's not broken. I just think it just takes away from what TF2 is as a like rock, paper, scissors thing, where it's like, for the medic, am I going to delay my jump so I can surf the first rocket, or am I going to jump instantly where if they shoot instantly I'm out of there? And I just really hate what it does. Every time I see it I just sigh. I'm kind of over it.
I think it's just like viewership bias, because when somebody misses a market gardener, you don't remember it, but when somebody like hits it 1 in like 20 times, then
It's
like
not 1 in 20.
well,
It's not 1
you
in
know
20.
what I mean. And like when you're watching matches, like I deliberately like put the view on soldiers that do market gardeners because I have a cheat feed, but I can't count the number of times that they try to do something with it but they don't succeed. I think it's just like a bias that way. It's not as useful as it seems, but when somebody uses it, it's like impressive, but it's not
I
that
think
common.
I think the problem is the difference between that and an alternative is insane. Because what's the trade-off? You either have fast speed when you're weak, or you have an opportunity. I am 10 HP. I'm gonna jump around this corner and one-shot someone before they can kill me.
Well, if you're 10
Or
HP, all they have to do is like, I don't know, shoot your foot.
no. I've seen in a situation where a soldier is like 20 HP and a scout has to chase around the corner, so you just pre-fire, one-shot the scout. What the hell are they supposed to do? You can't see them. I don't know. I don't like it. I definitely see. I think there's. I'm not gonna say what, but I'm pretty sure it's never gonna get banned just because certain reasons. And I think the reason it's so good is just because how Froyo's soldiers play is where a lot of the times you don't have to get damage out more as space. In the plus of having to jump in and maybe you'll die and do 100. Instead, you're gonna die and do a one hit. And like it's, I just don't like it.
NJ does make a good point. Is like over time people are just going to be like, oh, the other soldiers probably using market gardener, and like they'll subconsciously like learn to counter it.
You can't counter it.
And I don't know, I feel like it's a fad that's going to go away by like, I don't know, next season.
I don't think it's going to go away. The problem is the replacements aren't better. They're just not better. The only thing is Pain Train, which nobody uses besides like me. Like I don't see anyone using it.
But the question is why is everybody using it like all of a sudden?
Because
if it's always
Jay
been better,
can make it work on. It's because Froyo. That's literally it. Is because the thing is you never see Jay do it on other teams. It's just because he's on Froyo, he has the freedom to try stuff out, and because Soldier isn't as important. I don't want to take away from Jay. I think he's a great player, but just how Froyo Soldier has been in the past, it doesn't matter as much as how you do individually as how much you do as a team. Where if you bomb in when you're supposed to with everyone else aggressing, there's so much stuff happening, and then you get hit by something that you're not even looking at and you get one shot. Like I've seen someone get market garden in the back for 195, and it's like, okay, I guess like if a soldier bombed in, they'd have to hit a direct, and then maybe you have to predict where they surf. You got to do something like that. You hit a headshot rocket, and the thing I love doing on soldier is hitting headshot rockets, and it just takes a lot of the skill out, because instead of landing on someone hitting a headshot, you land on someone and one shot them. It's like, I don't know. I have a feeling it's never going to get banned just because of reasons and how kind of RGL stuff is set up right now, which I'd love to see change. But right now, I think how it is working, I have a feeling it's pretty much impossible for that to ever get banned. But
I don't think it will. It's very rare for melee weapons in themselves to get banned.
The whip,
yeah, for obvious reasons. But I don't know. We can probably go into depth about this in the off season or something like that. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Do you want to answer another question? Do you see any here?
By Jesus Extracent, would new maps come into the pool? I think they probably are. I'd love to see it. I've suggested a system that I've come up with many times on my stream at like 2 a.m. where I just rant for hours. But yeah, I'd love to see map test cups, and I don't know, maybe at the end of the season I'll say it again. But I definitely think there's potential with new maps. And overall, I'm a 5 CP hater. I'm a hater of many things. I'm a hater of the Market Gardener, hater of the 5 CP meta in game mode, or at least how the config works right now, where it kind of opts towards slower play that's boring to watch, and you kind of got to decide if you want to try and go for better viewer purposes, because I think Koth 100% is a better viewer experience. And if you could agree, do you agree? What do you think's more fun to watch, 5 CP or Koth Dolphin?
I'm gonna say Koth. I mean,
Also, do you think it would be fun to watch a game mode like Capture the Flag, Attack Defense, something new? At least try it.
well, if we try to do capture the flag and then we just have like two NGs and
The
like we
problem
get one
is that
frag
maps
every 20
aren't
minutes.
built for sixes.
Yeah.
There's a map I looked at that looked great for sixes. Like, I'd love to see that played. There was an attack defense, I think, made by Kevin Gator. I'm sorry. I think he made the guy who made Villa, I remember, I think. And it looked great. It had so much depth. It looked really cool. I've looked at it many times. I'd love to see it in a map cup at least and be considered, because he put a lot of effort in. From what I've heard, it's kind of been shot down a little bit, and I'd love to see him get some, because he put a lot of work in for a map that is not really going to be played in anything but sixes. And yeah, I'd love to have a discussion. I don't know, something that'd be kind of cool
I think
is
it's
to
a good
like
idea.
have a TF2 meeting and maybe stream it just so everyone has an idea. But I understand why people wouldn't, just because in case there's like some secret stuff you don't want to share. But I think it'd be cool definitely to have some transparency that happened with ECA before, where the community kind of knows what's going on and what people are thinking. And if need be, you can have a poll and see what people in like the general community that affect more people than just invite. And worst comes to worst, you test stuff in invite, and if invite likes it, what you do with Bagel, where it's only invite, if people like it, you move it down, you let everyone else play with it, and then if people don't like it, then you change it. Yeah. I think changes definitely are possible. I think some wouldn't really help the game more than it would hurt it. I think opening the whitelist to a certain degree would hurt the game more than it would help it, and I don't know how much really allowing something like Mad Milk, Fist of Steel to whip the Vaccinator would really improve the game rather than hurt it and make it less fun to play. Because I remember Rescue Ranger Wrangler Vax last holds were the worst thing to ever happen. Like, it was horrible because you can't kill the gun, you can't kill the medic. The medic can put damage resist on a heavy. That, like, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna get Uber anyway.
It was very overpowered, and before they nerfed
there's been
it.
no nerf. In what?
Shout out to Sigafu with Sigafu save. Like, Rescue Ranger, Wrangler. They used to be very overpowered. Vaccinator, I think, is still overpowered in a sense. But one big obstacle for like trying all these new things is we need like people to take it seriously. Most people just like do new map pugs, let's just fuck around, you know. And like
no, the thing I had is an incentive. So what you do is, you know, I'll get into it because we don't have anything really else to talk about. But the idea I had, I'm gonna skim over it. Is, you know how Bagel is an invite only map?
Yep.
So what you do every season, you get rid of a map. So I hate Metalworks. I think Metalworks is so boring. I think it's awful. I'll give Villa more time because it's a new map, but I hate Metalworks. I think it's so stale. I think it's just an inherently boring map. Kick it out. What you do is, I think people like Bagel. You move Bagel into the map pool. You bring a new map, and what you do to find out the new invite-only map is you run a map cup, and you make every invite team play it. You make every invite team play it, and then you say, all right, one of these maps is going to be in the pool. Choose one. So people are going to play it a little bit more. They're put a little more time into it. Maybe you give some sort of like key incentive. Like, we'll give you 10 keys if you win. 5 if you get second. Something like that. I don't know where you're going to get the money. But stuff like that. And then at the end of it, you poll everybody in invite, ask, what map do you want in? What map do you want to see? Invite only. Next season, people don't like it, out. Then you get a new map to test next season in another map cup. And that'd be super cool. And I think definitely another change to be made is 5 CP, make the round timer 5 minutes instead of 10. I don't think you're losing anything in that 5 minutes that you take out besides boring stalemates. Because if something's not happening in the first 3 minutes, it's probably not going to happen for the next 7. Yeah. So I think overall it cuts out a lot of the dead time of just sniper one-mans for those really, really low-risk things, and it gives teams that have a deficit a way back in the game. Instead of having a minimum of 3 mids, if you reset the round 3 times, you make it a lot more interesting. And I think Villa, I don't know, it's growing me a little bit. I don't really like it, but I'd love to see it. Unless it's like a map that people objectively hate and no one likes. I think Villa's growing on people more, but I definitely think you should give it a bit of a chance. And I think there are definitely maps that are boring and stale and just like rehashes of. I think what's been happening is since now that they had cough maps, I think these cough maps are good I think they add new things. Like Bagel brings a lot of new things. I don't really like Clear Cut as much as Bagel because I think the cap time's really cool, and it's a really cool way to try and break stuff, break stalemates instead of having to sack and you can bait cap time. I think you're bringing in more mediocre 5CPs instead of more interesting other game modes just because people don't like other game modes. So I'd love to see a CTF be tried, a attack defense be tried, a new Koth be tried. I don't think payload's going to work as a game mode inherently. It's just, unless you get a special map for it.
Not in sixes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work payload, but I could see attack defense and capture the flag definitely working.
Okay.
They just have to be smaller maps.
We'll see what we can scrap around. Maybe we'll do like a special cup. We can run one during the Christmas season or something like that. I don't know.
Also, what NJ said is 3-minute rounds. I said 5 just because it's like a happy medium where it's not too drastic, where you give people some time to cook, work. I think 5's a good number in between.
If we can see more of like the 0-0 second half that we saw, where it was like constant action, and I'm sure like even without
the thing is, you get more. So the most interesting and the most fair part of the game is a mid fight, right? Everyone has the equal everything.
Yeah.
I think that's the best part about 5CP. And the more of those you have, the better the game will be, right?
Yeah.
And given it's possible that 0-0 game was people sitting on their last for 10 minutes. That's possible. I've seen so many times where, especially if you have a lead.
It was fast paced. Like it was one cap
I'm saying. I'm saying, but it's very possible it wasn't that. Like it's so possible. I've seen so many games where if you have the advantage, there's no reason to push. And what NJ said, the reason I love attack defense is because there's a time limit. It forces you to go, and if you turtle, like the other team has to break it, and there's always a time limit. Like if they turtle, I think there's like 5 minutes to break like the first point. If you don't do it, and if anything, you just make the time slower and you increase the rounds played. Where maybe you have like 3 minutes. And like, there's more often you don't finish the map, but you have more rounds to play. Like instead of like, is it best of 3 for Highlander? Right.
First to 4, I believe, for King of the Hill on Highlander.
No, attack defense.
Attack defense.
Is it first to 2, like best of 3?
Like for CP Steel, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, first to 2. Right. It's same as Halo.
Yeah. So instead of that, you make a smaller round time, and you get more reps. So like first to 4, first to 3, and you just have faster like rounds instead of as much stalemate. Maybe you have like 2 to 3 minutes. Like, and there's control in Call of Duty, which I love watching COD. It's a little bit brain dead, but I love it. There's something called control that's kind of like attack defense, where there's 2 points to pick from. You got to cap both. If you cap one of the points, you get more time on the clock, and there's lives. But there's a lot more happening. But I think attack defense is super cool. I think I definitely don't like bringing back old maps. Like, I don't think bringing back Gravel Pit would be a great idea, because I think there's definitely things that were wrong with it that you'll discover again. So I think, I don't know. I love new maps. Granary? I liked Granary.
No,
but
Arena.
Your mic's rehash?
Arena.
No, Arena's bad. Arena would be slow. I don't know. Unless I think Arena could be more interesting if you brought back limited respawns instead of just having one respawn. You have like a team pool of 12 or something, and then maybe you bring more caps in. Like imagine stand-in with 12 lives plus the 6 you spawn with. Like that'd be more interesting, right?
Yeah.
Than having
what about
6.
Arena respawn? But yeah, you only have so many.
I think a respawn was a little bit goofy, but
it was fun.
It was funny to watch, but I think it's a little bit too goofy at the moment. But
a little.
Yeah, but I think adding more lives to it would be more interesting, because the problem with Arena is it's so slow until you have that like one fight where you try and get picks, something like that. But yeah. I love seeing changes. There's some changes I don't want to see, but I'd love to see some stuff like I said with the map pool.
It's worth at least trying, because some people might not like the prospect of it, but as soon as they try it, they might go, oh, after playing a few rounds of this, it's actually pretty fun.
Pastime. The problem with Pastime is it's too goofy and not close to TF2 really at all. Where I think it'd be super cool, funny to watch and fun, but I don't know. I think it's a side game mode. It's not a main game mode.
Yeah. Maybe if some like pro maps were made or something.
There's been one, but it's like it's too goofy. Yeah. It takes a lot out of like what TF2 objective play is into like Another comparison to COD. There's a game mode called Uplink that's super cool, but the thing is the maps are a lot larger. The problem with the one there is it's so small. Given it's going to be really high scoring, but I don't know. It's so different than what TF2 really is. It'd be interesting to see, have it played, but I just doubt that it'd really be played in comp TF2 just because it's really goofy.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing all these new maps and game modes, but I'm not sure if it'll ever happen. But it doesn't hurt to, run some cups to try it. But should we answer one more or?
Do we? I don't know if you have a time limit or not. I'd be down to answer most of these. There's like one or two that are like I'm not gonna answer. But
pick one more.
Pick one. Oh, there's a couple good ones. Ooh, I don't know. It's between Tristan, Isaiah, and I think a team of ants.
I think we answered like a team of ants before.
Yeah,
I feel like that question was.
Yeah, I don't think that's. Plus, you haven't really played as much, so it's kind of.
How about Tristan? Do Tristan. So who/what?
Oh, Tristan. Okay.
Who/what was your inspiration to continue playing and getting better at TF2?
Actually, this is gonna be a short answer. I used to play sports a lot. I love competing, so I competed. I said I wanted to be the best. I want to be the best soldier, the roamer in the game. And, you can ask many people, but I believe at one point I was, but I think it's definitely debatable. I don't know about that one, but I think I definitely was at some point. And yeah, I don't know. Competing was definitely fun.
Yeah, I joined. I used to be a real casual player. I saw like EVL, if you remember way back when, 2014 or something like that. They did like a 4v4 like tournament, and I like signed up, and that was my first introduction to comp TF2. And like I didn't really have one person that I really looked up to as an inspiration, but just the prospect of like teamwork and not just like I don't know. I like esports. I like the organization of it. I like the prospect of like gradually getting better and like seeing your results. And it just I don't know. There's not really one inspiration. It's just I liked playing competitively, and I mean that was it. I just enjoy it. Like nobody plays comp TF2 for like money. Like every single person that plays comp TF2 does it because they enjoy it. And that's no different with me when I did play competitively, and I would love to play competitively again if I ever have free match days, which I don't. But yeah, that just my inspiration. Like it's just fun for me.
I guess like people I don't really get inspired by anyone, but people I looked up to, Seagull, probably the best playmaking roamer of all time. He carried Mix-Up. Maybe not carry, but he was a big part of Mix-Up winning in season 15, and he was, I like to say the best roamer. I think Blaze definitely has the most accolades and probably the longevity, but
yeah,
Prime Seagull, a god, Mela. I don't know. I like the finesse of Soldier, and I feel like it's been lost with how good Scout is, where soldiers can't really be the main guy making all the plays. Every season I try and be the main guy making all the plays. Even if they work, we still lose because Soldier's not as good as Scout. So, I don't really – it's kind of sad to see Soldier kind of die down in that department. But, yeah, I think Mela, Shadowburn, Seagull, probably my favorite soldiers all time.
Yeah, and like you're a Soldier person. I think I kind of started as like a demo man person. I
used to be a demo man.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Demo got like nerfed, and it's just not as powerful as people think it is. And like I don't know, I don't really remember like maybe I don't know, like Dwana, or I mean there's not many demos to be honest, but I don't know. Anything else you want to explain, answer about this question?
I don't think so. Is there any other question in the chat? I missed something that someone said. Let me read it real quick. Wasian said CTF and attack defense are bad since half the time the team is doing defense. I think that's the reason I think it's cool is because it enforces a time limit. Because you could say the same thing about like 5 CP at times, where a lot of times if you're on the team's last, and especially I'm going to keep bringing this up, if you have the advantage you're on your last, you have no incentive to really push, especially if the time's really low. And the thing with attack defense is if you do what I said where you decrease the round timer and you just have more volume of rounds, which I think is usually the most interesting thing, is just having more and more things happen. Like the main thing I want to see is more rounds happen. So 5 CP, 5-minute round timer, you have more mids happen, you have more rounds happen, stuff like that. And if you have attack defense and you lower that, more rounds happen. If you have CTF, you kind of have to like decide your play style. Like, do you want to play really passive and have a low scoring game, or are you going to have a shootout? You're going to keep going for the intel, keep trying to get as many caps as possible. Maybe you give up some on your side, but in the exchange, you get more on them. And 5 favorite IC series to watch? Probably... Oh, I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
I-58 was pretty fun. I remember I-63 was pretty fun until the Grand. Actually, no, the Grands were good too. I-63 was pretty good overall, I think. But just not enough in it. Like only one NA team going is kind of a little bit boring. But I-58, I-55 was super good. I didn't really remember watching
I-55 is like the one I remember. That one was
it was
really
so
good.
long ago. I don't remember that much. And I haven't watched I-Series like full throughout because it starts early. And I usually just sleep through because it's the weekend and I just want to get my sleep. So, yeah.
Can't wait for RGLgg, but hopefully...
There's bigger problems right now.
I know.
Until that happens.
Yeah. I'm not sure when the next international LAN is going to be, sadly. But I'm looking forward to the future I-Series if we're ever invited again. Hopefully we're not 0 for 5 by then. Let's see. Any thoughts on current controversy? I don't know what.
I don't know what the current controversy is. It's very vague.
Maybe earlier this year, but I mean, there's not much controversy right now.
Unless it's like a thread that was made that I somewhat browsed, but I don't think
nothing huge.
No, it's just like who's cheating? Who's cheating?
RGL really bad. I got banned. Unban me.
The only thing I'm a bit confused about RGL is it's been a whole season and there hasn't been a single word from anti-cheat, which, you know, unless they're still going, but like I'd like some communication, which I don't know if they want to write articles in the future, but I think there should definitely be a bit more communication between RGL and
like to communicate too much because
like other stuff. Like there's no communication about anything besides like this and maybe some like articles, but like you should at least say it's being investigated because I have no clue. I don't think it's been publicly stated that they're looking into it.
But the thing is, a lot of times TF2 gets ignored to know that they're being investigated. Well, that's why there's.
I guess so, but like, it's been a whole season, man. There's no new evidence. Like, there should be something said.
They're not the most fast one because like they all have like stuff to do.
Yeah, I understand, but
it's not easy. It's like, oh yeah, that guy cheated. No, it's not that simple. But I mean, people are getting more and more clever on how they cheat. So I don't blame them for taking their time, but I think like I reported some guy for cheating before, and he like got away for a very long time, but he recently got his ass handed to him, thankfully. But just know that they will eventually be caught.
But the main problem I have is if they don't do it before playoffs, like if that team makes playoffs and then they get banned after the season, like teams that were in contention that just didn't make it because a cheating team got through past playoffs, kind of unfair to the other teams in the division. And like, imagine if you're the 5th seed and a cheating team got through and then they got banned after the season, and you're like, oh, well, we didn't get a chance to really try and win the division because team that was cheating the whole, or at least the start, potentially allegedly was cheating, let's just say, got through the whole season. Like, it's been a whole season. It has to happen before this playoffs if they really want to do something, because this is the last week. This last week
There's only so much they can do. But
I understand.
I understand like your problems with that, but
I don't know. I'm in the Discord and I have no clue what's happening. Like I have not seen. I don't think I'm in the channel, but I haven't seen a single word.
I think they keep that part closed.
Yeah, I know. I understand why, but like, I'd like a little bit more communication and just maybe like I know they don't really like TF2 that much, but I'd like to see some some communication between the two platforms, because it's definitely the main platform right now for discussion.
I don't know. People, I've seen some staff like say they don't
Yeah,
want to say too
I've
much.
seen a lot of things.
They have their reasons for what they do.
I know why, but I've browsed, but there's a lot of words in the Discord sometimes. But
Yeah.
I think there definitely should be a little bit more, even though they don't see eye to eye.
Yeah. Thoughts on the state of UGC? I mean,
I didn't even know UGC is still happening, to be honest.
I think their only thing is like medals. People just like play like no scrim or whatever. They don't take it seriously. And then they do like Ultado. I think Ultado is like the only format. Ultado and Force is like the only thing that people play in it for. And even then,
RGL's
they
just
fuck
better
around.
UGC at this point, because they have 6 as Highlander and there's a free division. So, yeah.
No. I don't even know what Trip's saying, but I'm not going to comment on that.
I don't think that's that true, but I'm not really part of RGL as a staff. I'm just here to cast and talk about TF2.
It's complicated.
And I want to keep it like that.
You know, I'm not gonna. I can't take the position of any.
You don't have to.
But RGL forums. I thought they took. Oh no, I thought you said UGC forums. I'm pretty sure they took those away. RGL forums bad. I mean it's a nice forums. It's just nobody really used them.
If any, I think the boxes are a bit too large. Like, I have to scroll. I think it's just because I use TF2 and it's so compressed. But like,
Yeah.
I click on general and like, the topic boxes are so big, like that it takes up so much space. I have to scroll down.
I think like because like you're so used to TF2 and that was designed like I don't know 20 years ago or something.
It's so simple. This is so like blocky and boxy. I don't know.
It
takes
like
up a lot of space.
It's like a modern site, but forum sites are actually kind of hard to like design, honestly.
There's just so much text everywhere
Yeah.
that it's a bit rough. But
It's hard to make forum sites. Do you guys think that this season of Furrytech is better than last season? I think every season of Furrytech is better than the last.
It's debatable. Most time it is, but I think this season is better. This team is probably better. Right now, maybe not, but I think at the end of the season they'll definitely be stronger. Given last season they were very good as well. But more time for Jay, Blaze being back, which I think you could say is better than Patty. No offense to Patty, but Blaze kind of the Froyo roamer, and I think the more time you give them, and when playoffs start, they'll definitely kick it up a notch.
Mm-hmm. Who has the best hair in Invite? I don't know. We need like.
There's no lands, so it's kind of hard to say right now. But do we want to call it there?
Yeah, I think there's not really any other questions. What's the most heartbreaking moment you remember?
I don't want to. I don't know. I don't know if I'll talk about that one. I'll say a not as serious answer, but ESA or BTS land getting canceled, but those were for other reasons.
What about non-controversial things, like any like teams that like beefed it that you were rooting for, or any wholesome heartbreaking moments?
Ascent losing I-65, I guess, getting blown out, at least not having a close finals.
Understood.
Was I-66 or maybe I think it was I-66, whatever, one of those. Yeah, it was because they only skipped 2 for I-61 to I-63. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess that's the only TF2 entirely thing. But
okay, so I think that's enough questions for today. We'll keep your questions coming. We have a questions channel in the Discord. But let me just get here's the link to join the Discord if you want to. But I think that's all the questions we're going to answer today, and I think we can start to close it out here. So do you have any shout outs you would like to make before we head out?
I forgot to say, but shout out to Popto Bob, saw you in the chat earlier. Shout out to you for watching. Shout out to Trip, #1, back. And I'm expecting the repeat performance this week. You know? Hopefully. Looking like the true #1 we all believe in. Maybe not actually believed in, because Power Rank is a bit rough for him. But, yeah. But I think that's all I got.
Yeah. Shout out everybody in chat for watching. Shout out to, I don't know, I always just say shout out to everyone. Shout out to Marmalou for coming through this season, coming back for season 2 of Golden Cat. Hopefully coming back for season 3. We'll see what our plans are for that next season, but I think that's gonna be it. So I think unless you have anything else to say, I can go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you everybody for watching. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for Highlander, Tuesday for Furyo Corsia, and Thursday for Witness.
Maybe. We'll see. Invite scheduling.
Just watch our Twitter, watch our Discord casting announcements, and yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So so long everybody, and have a good night.